You know, they found themselves in an interesting spot, they meaning the defense. They're in that position where it's you have to admit what you can't deny and deny what you can't admit. And when you start going down some of the roads, like we just heard about a modern love affair, a modern relationship, that these men were paid for their time, not sex, you start to chip away at your own credibility. And if you chip away at your own credibility, that's going to adversely impact your client. But you have to work with what you have. So you're going to just concede that there was, for example, the prostitution across state lines. Well, you're guaranteeing yourself potentially up to 10 years in prison. And if you admit to that, are you opening the door for the other charges? So, you know, I think the jury's going to have a difficult time with the conspiracy for RICO. To Mark Agnifalo's point, this is a conspiracy for one. We didn't have co-defendants charged in this fraud and this scheme, assuming that there is a criminal enterprise. But I still think his exposure is very real and something much easier lift for them, seeing all this physical abuse, seeing the imagery, that they can get to that sex trafficking and certainly the transportation charge.
I'm going to do a quick rundown. I want each of you to tell me what is the one thing you want the jurors to be mulling over for the next 48 hours before they go back to deliberate? Have you thought about it?
Whose side? Mulling over in terms of for the prosecution side?
Sure, quick.
For the prosecution side, yes, that this was an organized effort by Sean Combs, and whether or not he was the principal of it, and that's why they removed the attempted aiding and abetting for the sex trafficking, whether or not he was a principal, he was working with these other people in his organization to secure these prostitutes and do so by force and coercion and all of the threats and violence.
If I'm the defense, I want them to be thinking about the story that was told today. That was a narrative. Prosecution was clinical, stood behind a podium. Today we heard a story about these relationships and about how all of the employees who are these co-conspirators, forced labor. There's nobody at this table but Sean Combs. I would want the jury to be thinking about my tale that I told in court today.
I'd want them to apply their knowledge of intimate relationships that they have in the real world and think about what he knew, could have known, or should have known, and look at the text messages, and then also think about relationships that they've been in and interpersonal connections they've made, and try and apply some of that common sense and everyday experience. That's why we have a jury in the first place.
Common sense, a dangerous thing, unless it helps you. Thank you so much, everyone.